You're a gentleman. Good. Good morning, everybody. The time is 9:03 a.m. It is Monday, November 14th, 2022. And I'm calling the regular term meeting of B County Commissioners Court to order. We're physically located at B County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi Street, Beeville, Texas, 78102. That was the call to order. If everybody would please stand and join Commissioner Farias in a brief prayer. Thank you, Commissioner, for this last-minute addition.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all your blessings. We thank you for the rain that you bring us. We thank you for keeping us safe here in B County. We ask you to watch over the court as they make the decisions that we're going to make for the county, for the betterment of all people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all. Welcome, everybody. You know, if I hesitate for just a moment on indivisible, immediately the commissioners know, he's trying to see, has he forgotten the Pledge of Allegiance? For everybody that may be wondering how does that happen, I just get conflated between the Texas Pledge, one and indivisible, and the United States Pledge, and it's become a mental block, which now is humorous for everybody out here because they see my struggle. That concludes agenda item number 3. Most discussion we've ever had on agenda item number 3. Agenda item number 4, recognize visitors. We have a lot of visitors this morning. We're going to get to see most of y'all a little bit later. If there's anybody else that's in the audience, thank you, ma'am. If there's anybody else that's in the audience that would like to identify themselves, not make public comment, that agenda item is coming up, but just identify themselves for the record, you may do so at this time. If not, there's no pressure. Welcome and thank you for being here. Anyone? Okay, good. Moving on. Agenda item number 5, Commissioner's Court opening remarks. Commissioner Haggard, we're just gonna.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Well, there's not a whole lot.
Commissioner DeWitt for last. Well, second to last, I suppose.
It'll be last and second to last, from what I'm understanding. No, not a whole lot going on. Just like I said, still closing up tight ends there in loose ends. Did meet with one individual on some bridge work there in the south end of the county. They are working on the RFP qualifications and guidelines for some of the repairs that need to be done down there. And just met with Ray and pretty much that's it. Just been busy all day tying up everything else that's going on. So, no, that's it. Thank you.
Judge, let me see. Saturday we had a visit from the actual owners of Triga, and that's first time here ever in Texas or the United States, I believe, for them. So they were down here looking at their new site, and they were here for a few hours and took off. So that was something on Saturday. Let me see. I had a couple of calls on Finner Street, but Mr. Ray Gonzalez already has those on the edges. You already got those, or they're on your list. I don't know. They're on my list. They're on your list. Okay, got that going. I had a meeting with Ms. Warnick. She's trying to outgrow her office with boxes and things there, so we're trying to figure out the storage problem. And we're working on that. So we'll see what we can figure out on that deal there. And let me see, I attended the Veterans ceremony at the high school. I made my rounds on Friday. The Garden Club with Commissioner DeWitt, 11, and then the historical marker for the Tri-Wing 3 here at the courthouse. That was real nice. So that was my week.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner DeWitt?
Yes, sir. If I could jump protocol just a little bit, Commissioner Lenny sent me some things he would like for me to read this morning for him. Sure. And then he said that any time left over would revert to me, so let me take care of Mr. Lenny.
Absolutely fine.
Okay,
And that concludes Commissioner Lenny's comment.
Go ahead. Okay. Commissioner Lenny sent this to me at 8:17 this morning. He asked that I read this in the record. He is on a public relations tour. He won't be with us today. His physically not here, but I can guarantee you his presence is felt. He is here. So this is for Commissioner Lenny. He participated in trunk or treat for the special needs kiddos at the pavilion downtown and also at the sheriff's office. He was the MC at the B County Historical Commission ceremony at the courthouse, and he did a very good job. I was there also. He wants to thank everyone that graciously donated a brisket for the Marine Ball. He was able to collect 16 briskets, and he met with our Road and Bridge Administrator, Ray Gonzalez, Saturday evening about some roads in Blueberry Hill that are in need of pothole repair. So I know there's other things that he did that he didn't have time to send to me, so, but that was Commissioner Lee's report. Judge, if you will,
All the time you need, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Stay comfortable, everybody.
There were some things going on in the district precinct. I attended the Veterans Day ceremony for the Garden Club and was part of the process. Also at the unveiling of the historical marker, the Jet. The bus stop at the Mineral intersection of 673 and 623 is coming along real nice. Road and Bridge has come in. They've laid down some coal mix, made the pad. We're waiting now for the rest of the material to come in from Amby to begin putting up the actual bus stop. And for those of you that don't know what we're doing in Mineral, it's a bus stop for the kiddos and their parents from Pawnee School District to utilize. They've been coming in lately for several years, and we set up a pad for them to use. The Orsted Wind Farm people were gracious enough to give us a check, if you will, and we're building a metal bus stop that's 60 foot long, 20 foot wide. Bus can go under it, the cars can go under it, get the kiddos out of the wind and the weather and everything. So that should be complete by January. I'm the P3 Power Pool representative for the county. We got a memo from them the other day. We buy our electricity through this co-op. It's very inexpensive compared to others, but they have notified us of a projected 3-year increase of 33.9% in total electrical costs compared to 2022. So just like all of us sitting in the audience and all of us sitting up here, the county's electrical costs are going up also. So that's something that we'll have to budget for and watch real close. The departments do a very good job of keeping all their expenses down, but utilities and staff are two things government has to have to operate, and utilities are huge. Our Road and Bridge Administrator has been doing a good job getting out there and beginning to do some mowing up in the north part of the county. The limbs that we were waiting to get cut on Shady Lane have been cut. They were cut yesterday, so that project will move along. Judge, I really hate to say this, but I really don't have a whole lot more this morning, sir.
Take your time.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna give some time back this morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioner DeWitt. Anybody want to take the rest of Commissioner DeWitt's time?
Nope, we're good.
Sure. All right.
Oh, is there something we need to read?
Ms. Estrada, would you like to take some of Commissioner DeWitt's time? Thank you. Okay. I won't speak for too very long. I'm just kidding. I won't speak much at all. Thank you for your report. I do want to, and I'm going to say this again, and I may say it at another, I don't know how many more Commissioners Court meetings we have, I guess 2 until before the end of the year.
One more.
So one more. So at this point in time, informally, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure we'll do this again, but informally, I'd like to acknowledge and recognize, and I'd like everybody in this room to acknowledge and recognize that since March, right? Since March of this past year, Commissioner Haggard has been what I guess we would affectionately term a lame duck, although that seems to have a negative connotation. His commitment to the county, his commitment to the precinct, the amount of work that he's done, it hasn't lagged, it hasn't slacked off. Even up till last week, he's still continuing to do everything that he was elected to do, and that is one of the hallmarks of an indication that he has been the right man for the job. And I'd like to thank you, Commissioner Haggard, for staying in here. I know it's a difficult situation. I know we're all excited for Mr. Oliveros. You're coming in. It's official now, right? The general election is over. Congratulations. We're very excited. I commend you as well, your commitment to this county and to your future position. You've been present at, I think, every one of our Commissioner Court meetings this year, except for maybe a couple, if that. I think the citizens in Precinct 4 are very fortunate and very lucky to have had Commissioner Haggard, and I think they're going to be very lucky to have future Commissioner Oliveros. So thank you both for your commitment. And I just wanted to acknowledge and recognize that. I've been on other boards where elected officials have lost their seat, and their response was that they're in leadership roles, and their response was that they never showed up for another meeting again. And that is very telling on an individual's character. So showing up and continuing to show up is also very telling.
Could I add to that, Chris? Just a few things?
As long as it's not better than what I just said.
Well, I'm not sure it's better, but I just want to acknowledge Commissioner Haggard for some of the things he's done that over the years that people don't realize. He is solely responsible for the no engine brake signs in B County. That was his project. He started that from beginning to end. He went around to the county, he talked to all the commissioners and said, we've got a problem with these trucks using their, what do they call it, their
Air brakes.
And it's keeping people,
Check brake, yeah.
check brake, keep people up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when they come through town. So every time you see one of those signs now, Commissioner Haggard had a lot to do with that. Also, the safety and security lights that we have all over B County, Commissioner Haggard and I did that, but his impetus when we tried to figure out how to do it, it was so simple what he said. Why don't we talk to the electric companies instead of the tech dot? And that's how we did it. And for that, I owe him, and the people owe him a lot of gratitude, because that's going to endure way beyond his term and my term both. Pettis, Pawnee, Mineral, Skidmore. When you go through Skidmore, the highway department did a huge amount of lighting on the other side of Skidmore. You thought you were coming into a town of 500,000 when you're coming from Papalote because of all the lights on those curves. But they didn't do Skidmore. Commissioner Haggard did Skidmore. Also in Skidmore, what do they call that? The Hawk system there by the school?
For school crossing.
School crossing.
His legacy will go on many, many years past him. And for that, Commissioner Haggard, I'd like to give you a round of applause. So thank you.
Judge, there is a,
I'm sorry,
He's
Commissioner
gonna have to
Haggard, I
keep
know you're not
answering.
prepared for this.
answering his phone,
Oh, yeah, it doesn't end December 31st.
because I'll tell you what, his expertise on the road agreements with tech stop, stuff like that, I have no experience with, and I know that he helped me and guided me through some of those that I still have hiccups with, so appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you. All I can say is it's been an honor, to the last 12 years. I moved in here thinking, well, I'll just make a few changes, and then it was just one thing after another. But not without the help of the entire Commissioners Court, the backing of past commissioners and the now commissioners and future commissioner. And a huge amount goes to Mr. Gonzalez, Ray Gonzalez, for one, being able to break the barriers that we didn't have before. Drainage issues, where we couldn't move water before. Suddenly, Ray and I together got down with a bunch of people and we were able to move some water around it. It's still an issue, it's a huge issue. But again, I do feel humbled by the fact that, you know, I was able to make a few changes here in the county for my 12 years here. And again, any help that you still need on certain items, just, I don't know if most of y'all know, right now I'm trying to find Commissioner Frias, a 2005 pickup truck, 4-wheel drive. So if anybody has one they're willing to get rid of, contact Commissioner Frias. But no, I've helped Ray with a bunch of equipment too, so I'm always around, so I'll still be around. Just moved my residence over to my other location now, so, but I'm still in Papalote. So again, thanks again from everybody, from the community, all the people that did and didn't back me. I hope that I helped out all that I could in the 12 years I was here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on, and like I said, we'll probably do this again, and I'll give you a little bit of heads up.
Sure you will, yeah. Yeah.
Moving on to agenda item number 6, public comment. Are there any members of the public that would wish to address Commissioners Court? Now would be the time. Is there anybody? I'm just kidding. Mrs. Warnick, please come up, identify yourself for the record.
Laura Warnick, Elections Administrator for Speake County. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Commissioner Haggard, for all your support with helping get our office together and stuff. And I'd like to take this time to introduce Laura Campbell, my new employee. Laura will be, with the grace of the committee accepting her and appointing her when I do retire. She will be taking my place. I'm gonna be spending a couple of years, I hope, to training her to be ready.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Is there anybody else who'd like to make a public comment? All right, now we'll start cooking with guests. Agenda item number 7, the following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a commissioner or county judge.
Move to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none. I don't think we have. Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Moving on, discuss and consider action on the following items. Agenda item number 8, approved distribution of ARP check funds to the B County Volunteer Fire Departments. Ladies and gentlemen, we have several chiefs and representatives of our fire departments here in B County. What I'd like to do at this time, and Commissioner DeWitt, if there's something you'd like to say before I call them all up, please do. But I think what we're going to do is I'll call you out each individually and come up, and then if you would please stay up here, I'd like to get a photograph. For everybody else in the audience who may not understand not understand, but may not know what's going on, you know, the federal government gave out a bunch of money to all the different counties and cities in the United States, and in B County, we created a ARP committee headed up by Commissioner DeWitt, Commissioner Lenny, that's been in place for a little over a year now. Is that right, or 2 years? Time flies. And they've done an excellent job of identifying needs and opportunities in the community to utilize this windfall of funds. One of the needs that they identified, and it was brought to them, and I'm sure some of the gentlemen that are in the audience, the ladies and gentlemen that are in the audience may have brought it to the ARP committee or to committee members directly, is the constant need from our volunteer fire departments. There's not a paid fireman in B County, and that's pretty similar for our surrounding counties in this entire region. But, you know, fires don't really care whether or not you have a professional fire department. So the men and women that serve our community do so while they are either full-time employed somewhere else in business for themselves or retired. This is something they do on the side that they're passionate about. We could not be more proud of our volunteer fire departments and our volunteer firefighters. This year, maybe more so than in previous years, we have seen the level of commitment, selfless drive, and determination that our county's fire departments have, as well as the entire region. This year's fire season, as I'm sure they could recount with many more stories, was one for the books. And unfortunately, it continues, although wet weather like this certainly helps our range fires, I'm sure. Is there anything?
Yes,
you'd like
two
to
things. The checks that you'll be presenting, Judge, are for all those fire departments that have turned in all their paperwork.
Correct.
And I'll make the motion to approve the distribution of ARP check funds.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just have a comment. Not only do you understand the fire departments respond to fires, they respond to everything. It doesn't matter. When the pager goes off, it's either fire, an accident, or whatever, they're there. They come from all different directions. They all show up at one place and they all take off in another direction. So again, when you say fire departments, a lot of people think, oh, they just do fires. No, they do everything. They direct traffic, they clear wrecks, they do everything. You have EMTs embedded in with them. They're very important, just as important as a regular old fire. Was the roughest year, I think. I have no idea how much time and energy they spent, but they spent a ton of time and energy this year, just by the amount of fires and accidents and everything. So my hat goes off to all of these firefighters. Thank you.
Thank you.
And when we were trying to come up with the amount per department, one thing that struck us is that you have large departments, you have smaller departments, but they all have needs. And sometimes the smaller departments don't have the ability to fundraise as much as the bigger departments. So if anybody's wondering, well, why did we all get $30,000? That's the reason. We felt like that every department should receive the same thing. We've given you the parameters on how it can be spent. You contacted Ms. Grace in the auditor's office. I have to echo what Commissioner Haggard said. The work y'all do is fabulous. 24 hours a day, you're ready to go. You don't expect any compensation. You don't even expect a pat on the back. But from my perch, from my point of view, thank you. What you do is extremely important. Thank you. Your unselfish devotion to the county, to the public, to the people is awesome. So thank you.
No, just the combined efforts from the surrounding counties as well. I'm sure that they appreciate all the volunteers that go and join them in fighting the fires in different counties, in Joliet and down south and everywhere else. So I'm sure that's overlooked sometimes. They travel.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your comments. I think what we'll do maybe is let's all just stand up and push our chairs away, because ultimately we'll have a picture and we'll call y'all up one by one. Shake your hands. I know y'all are here representing your respective departments. Yes, chief photographer, very expensive, camera. Chief Burke, can you come on up? Thank you, sir.
I will admit, we miss Jason a lot.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief?
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, you just, stand up. Don't stand away. You don't have to Chief Sanders? Is your, Ms. Sam? Ms. Sam?
She's gonna hang out back there.
No shot. Hey, thank you again. Thank you, sir. Chief Garza? Papalote? Assistant Chief Clevenger?
I bet one of these,
Here in spirit.
I bet one of these others could use that one.
Well, we can take a motion, I guess. We can work.
No, my backyard.
They're already in your back pocket.
There you go.
Chief Symes, Pawnee, and, Fire Department. Chief, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for all that you do. Chief? There you go, sir. That's what you're really paying for. Chief Kennedy?
Yeah, but, they don't understand. I know,
Yeah, we'll get behind that.
we've always been on that.
Assistant Chief Steele, you wanna come up? You don't have to, I mean.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm not even at it. We'll leave home without it.
Thank you, sir. Chief User?
Give them time.
Good to be home. Thank you. There you go, Chief Mingers. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And what you came for. Thanks. Everybody, please join me in giving these gentlemen a big round of applause. Now let's get all y'all lined up. Candy, you're in charge. How do we go together?
Yeah, y'all are good, y'all perfect, I'll sit right in. Yep. Okay, all ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take a couple, run right after the next. All right.
Shouldn't you take them from a vantage point that's above us shooting down?
I don't know, I don't have social media.
Yeah, okay, keep going. Oh, my God.
nameplates too on there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty.
Is it a good one? Thank you.
See if anybody's eyes are closed?
What you get, sir?
It just to be clear, y'all are welcome to stay, but
Everybody's eyes are open. Hope so.
Let's give one more hand to the.
I hope so. I'm like, that's good. Yeah.
we need to keep them in more often. There's no fire going on right now. We have all the chiefs. Yes, sir.
Please be loud.
Garland and his father passed away last night, so that's why I'm not able to be here.
Thank you. We just,
Who can give it to him?
I can give it to Linda Clevenger. You want me to give this to her? Or you can give it to her. Why don't you give it to her?
so we just heard, Papalote Fire Department Chief's, father passed away, and that's why he's not present this morning. Our condolences to him and his family.
And Commissioner-elect Oliveris is going to present the check.
Thank you so much, Dino. I appreciate that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was fun.
Yes, sir.
It's always fun giving away money.
It is a lot of fun, especially that much. Come on, man.
I know, right? Should have fun. I know, that's right. There was no pain.
Somebody else's check.
April wasn't,
Very
was it
limited,
grittier
very
tea?
I mean,
limited.
this is $240,000.
Smile out of
Yeah.
I have one.
Moving on, agenda item number 9, present invitation to the District 11 Judges and Commissioners Conference given by Texas A&M AgriLife Extension on December 15th, 2022, presented by Donnie Montemayor, District Extension Administrator. Unfortunately, Mr. Montemayor is not available to present. Are we still, I show the email says, okay. So this was just sort of, I think, Mr. Montemayor just wanted to come by and say hello to us. The invitations will be dropped off at my office later on this morning.
If you would, Judge,
Yeah, go ahead.
they've changed some of the procedures on registering. I've tried to register 3 times, and I've contacted their office, and they're having some problems. They've even sent out a letter on which button to push and which to do this, and it's not working. So that may be why they're emphasizing it, because I know Commissioner Haggard, I've gone every year. I'm trying to go again this year, but, I'm having trouble registering. And they said there's a new procedure, but it's not working.
Sometimes the old procedures work best, right?
So that's part of what's going on.
Thank you, and thank you to the Ag Extension for putting that on every year. Moving on, agenda item number 10, approve annual Christmas tree lighting event at the B County Courthouse on Thursday, December 1st, 2022, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Yes, ma'am. And I'd ask that Commissioner DeWitt and Commissioner Haggard, y'all consider amending your motion, your second, to include specification that we will keep the courthouse open for purposes of accessing the rotunda, probably for the choir, that was so beautiful last year, as well as the restrooms.
Absolutely, that's, and then a motion to say that the courthouse will be open for them to utilize electricity, restrooms, and, clock.
Thank
So
you,
amended second.
Thank you, Commissioner. On that amended motion and second, any further discussion? Thank you, Deputy Salas. Thank you, Mr. Izagiri.
Yeah.
Hearing none, sometimes it's good that you actually don't have a seat up here.
They didn't even get a vote, did they?
No, they don't. If there's no further discussion, no, I'm just kidding.
Not on this, but I need to go back on Commissioner's comments after we get through this.
Oh, okay, sure. That's fine. It's okay, it's okay. This is a good meeting, easy meeting. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes without exception.
Judge, what I forgot to mention on Commissioner's comments, and thank you for bringing it up with, Deputy Salas and is Gary, the work they did here at the courthouse, getting
Yeah.
ready for the, not only the garden club ceremony, but the jet ceremony was fabulous. Everything was like clockwork, everything was perfect. And those folks and their staff were here on a holiday, working to help everybody out, and they need special recognition. Judge, if we could, let's give them a hand. They never complain, they just do their job, and that's outstanding. Thank you.
No, thank you guys, y'all are wonderful.
Thank you, Judge.
No, that was a good point to make. Moving on, agenda item number 11, approve expo request from St. Philip's School for their annual auction on April 29th, 2023. Principal Lentz is here. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the court? Welcome to come up.
I would just like to say, for those of you that don't know the school, we're a preschool through sixth grade school right now, 110 students. Our annual tuition is $42.50 a year. The actual cost to educate a child is $9,300. As you can tell, that's a big gap that we have. So our fundraisers are very, very important, and this is our biggest fundraiser of the year at the Expo Center. Last year, we grossed over $120,000, so we're hoping to improve upon that again this year. And so we're humbly asking for a waiver of that fee. We understand there'll be a $200 fee, I think, that we would pay.
The maintenance fee, yes.
We're a great school. If you have any kids that are that age, please feel free to come check us out. A lot of great things happening over there in Culture now.
So moved.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I know I've said it before, I'm a product of St. Philip's. I'm very happy with the school. And I'm, what's that?
No.
Oh, you want me to speed up? I give y'all free rein during public comment.
Now we know.
So we're very fortunate to have, Mr. Lentz here, in Beeville leading St. Philip's. So thank you for everything that you're doing. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 12, request for approval, proof of evidence stating a permanent peace officer's license has been issued to Constable Precinct 3 under Chapter 1701 Occupations Code as per Local Government Code Section 86.0021 Qualifications 2B.
That is mine, Judge.
Yes, sir.
He's not here today, so I'd like to table it to December the 12th if possible.
I have a motion to table till December 12th and a second.
Is that the 12th?
Yeah, it's a 12.
We didn't get any communication or anything ourselves? Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Request table to our next Commissioners Court meeting on December 12th.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 13, approve intergovernmental agreement between B County and Live Oak County regarding the purchase of K-9 Renzo. Chief Deputy, you're back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a motion
Move to approve?
and a second. Chief Deputy, you have anything you'd like to share with us about?
Checking your mail.
Well, I'm glad that he's going. We understand there's a staffing issue, persistent staffing issue, which has led to the necessity to let this K-9 move to Live Oak County. So we wish K-9 Renzo all the best in his career in Live Oak County. There's no further discussion. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you snuck back in too, Sheriff. Is there anything you'd like to add on?
No, not really. We just think it's the best for, the dog and everyone involved with it. He's had 3 handlers. And right now, we don't have anyone interested. It's a lot of work having a dog. You got 4 hours a week of training, and then plus every day of care and so forth. And, we lost our first handler. She went to DPS. We lost our second handler. They got a big raise and went to work for ISD. And then our third handler, Live Oak County got a raise, and so he's in Live Oak County. And we would have to board the dog until we could find someone to take it over. I think it's just best to keep him working and maintain that connection there.
Yeah, correct if I'm wrong, but he's going to the handler that he was with in
Yes,
Level County.
he'll still be with the same
Yeah.
handler.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and let me add also,
And
that is a good thing for the dog to follow the handler that way. There's no
And there is a cost to the county every time you train a new handler, correct?
Yes.
Well, yes and no, the senior funds.
Okay.
We can always tell them to pay that senior funds, and we're requesting that the money go back into the senior funds.
The thing that I have to appreciate is that the intercooperation between sheriff's departments. Because it could be that we get to a point where that handler comes back and we repurchase the dog. I mean, you never know. And the relationships that our sheriff has with the other sheriff's departments and those other sheriffs is outstanding.
Yes, right now, we have a canine still, but if we were to need one, ours wasn't available, I guarantee that if they could make it, they'll work with us real well.
Good.
We tried to work the percentage out for 6 months, but that didn't happen. Anything the dog finds for the next 6 months.
Because they are in some respects, they are a revenue generating
Yes.
asset.
281,
department.
yes.
Thank you for your comments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 14, approve request for ARP funding for the Pettus Municipal Utility District, PMUD.
Judge, if you will, they've come to us and they're in a bind in Pettus and need some money. I've looked this over. It, has to do with their municipal utility district. There is some tax on the bid, and I'm sure that needs to come off, but they're asking for, about almost $16,000. Judge, I would make a motion to increase this to $20,000. These bids that they got, these prices may go up, and that way they'll have enough money, not have to come back to them. And I would recommend and make a motion to grant out of the ARP money to the Pettus Municipal District, $20,000.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Did this go before the, committee?
This is one of those emergencies that we haven't had a chance to have a meeting, and I think we need to, I think the committee would approve it. There's no doubt in my mind. I would recommend we go ahead and go down with it.
Follow all the protocols, correct?
That's correct.
Important to our community, and they're all in need, and so I'm glad we're able to help them out with this money.
Thank you for those comments. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception.
Thank you, Court.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 15, approve order approving B County Auditor's Bond.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Moving on, agenda item number 16, approve 2023 auto liability renewal from the Texas Association of Counties TAC for January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Move to approve the comment.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt, you have the floor.
The comment is, well, read this, it's $115,502. That's all.
Okay.
That covers all the county.
Yes.
Yes, and it's down, it's about 380 or so from last year. I mean, that's notable.
$380,000?
$380.
Oh.
Down is always good, sir.
Well,
Nice try, Judge.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, well,
We'll take it.
Wonderful.
and I have one other comment. We did go through it as far as the coverage on the vehicles and everything. We have a true amount of the vehicles.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Numbers match.
Okay. It's becoming better and better every year
Yeah,
that we're
that was the thing.
putting our
That's
hands
what-
on everything
We
else.
questioned that
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah, and I don't want to insure something somebody else is driving for us. I don't trust them, I trust our people.
Yes, and that's probably why it's down, because we make changes throughout the year, and so they make up for it, of course, at annual renewal.
Anything further? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 17, American Rescue Plan, ARP status and projects. Commissioner DeWitt, you have the floor.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Several things, and a lot of it's ongoing. The scanner is ongoing. The vehicles are ongoing. Something that the committee, came before the committee, and I think it's come before the court, or the defibrillators for the emergency management. And they got their numbers together, and the total is, $14,940 for the defibrillators and the cases. I noticed, Mr. Gardner's not here. We have talked about including the batteries. I don't see the batteries on here. I see the defibrillators, the oxygen equipment, the resuscitators, vital signs monitors, Do you know, ma'am,
They're not complete?
I
Well,
don't
the
think we did.
batteries should, we talked about batteries,
I know we did.
so, do
You know where the
didn't tell me
batteries,
anything
because
for
we
the
wanted to be
batteries.
sure to include the batteries, because if they take a lot of batteries, they're those 1, 2, 3 batteries, they're pretty expensive.
I know we discussed it, and I don't know if it's included or not, but I know he said it was important to at least get 5,
Can,
get 5 of those.
well, I think they're asking for more than 5 here. How many was it?
Are they
Some
back,
from-
are they
we
backup
get some
batteries?
from Chief.
Only 5 batteries.
10, so 10 of these
Batteries.
AEDs, like we have for heart,
You're talking about the whole system?
the whole system,
Okay.
and the batteries.
Yeah, and
And
let me add something to
Please.
that, because 12 years ago, when I was on the school board, we had an incident where a bus driver, had a heart attack on the bus, and there was one of those under the seat of the bus, and one of the senior, kids, one of the high school kids, was able to get that out, use it, and save that driver's life. So at that time, Skidmore Timing went in and purchased one for all the, first they purchased just for the ones that go out to the events, then they wound up purchasing the entire, every bus has that, or did have. I couldn't honestly tell you it is still, but I know at one time we put on all the buses, just for that reason. And they're very helpful. When I worked in my plants, same thing, we had them hanging on the wall. They're lifesavers.
We've had a few,
Corner
and
phrase.
we had to pay for them out of the county's pocket. This is coming to ARP money, and these will go Expo Center, Rodeo Arena, Tax Office, Community Affairs, Road and Bridge, Adult Probation, Juvenile Probation, EOC Office, Emergency Management Vehicle, and B County Emergency Management COVID Trade.
Yeah.
So with that, and not knowing whether we budget for the batteries, let's add 1,000 to this, make it 15,940, and that's my motion to approve this.
I have a motion and a second to approve at $15,900 for additional defibrillators.
Yes.
Any further discussion on that?
That's 940.
Oh, $940.
Yes.
If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Anything else?
No, sir. Anyone on the committee have anything that we need to bring up? Now, one thing that I noticed that Mr. Willow is retiring. He's in that COVID position, and we haven't had a meeting on this, but I know we had talked about this before, about whether we need to continue to fund that, because if he's retiring, that money will no longer be needed in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So when the committee meets, we'll discuss whether to continue that position. The ad hoc comments I've had from committee members is no, that will not be continued. So that's the way I think the committee feels at this time.
Right, I think that needs to be a decision that Commissioner Court makes, not the committee.
I agree. I agree.
I do want to welcome Angela, our admin from GrantWorks. So she came to see us this morning. It's a big morning for our art project, so she came in special to be here for.
Thank you, ma'am. She does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work that really keeps us all out of trouble, so we appreciate what you do.
It's an honor to get to help with this project.
Thank you. And she does it very generously and very quiet. She just gets it done.
Yes, well, we to have you as part of our art team.
Do you have anything for the court about the
She's
way?
working on Blanconia. She's trying to push Blanconia
Where is
to the
Blanconia?
finish line.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna put her on the spot, but I
You
think.
just did.
It's right inside the limit.
I will say just that I appreciate working with this team and the county on the ARPA project. Y'all have been very careful and deliberate in the way that you've chosen to spend the money to support your community. And I'm glad to be able to have the opportunity behind the scenes to help with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know one of the big projects we're still waiting to get some numbers back on is our new EOC building out at the Coliseum. So that's one reason we haven't brought any other projects forward to the court. We know it's gonna cost more than we think. And so we're holding back on the money, and we've got time.
That makes good sense.
We know preliminary plans have been accepted on that project, and the engineer is expecting around mid-December to have final plans, and we can ask for an updated engineer's projected cost of construction for that project. We're expecting in December, end of December, to get bids out, so we'll get those back probably January. And then we'll know what the numbers are and what's remaining to spend on additional projects,
Just
if there's any.
protocol question, do we need, does We have
any
not seen it.
contracts, it all needs to come before this court, and we need to have outside counsel look at those documents
Yes.
before we agree to anything.
Yes.
A generator
No
too,
boilerplate.
because that's gonna be together with it.
Experience dictates we can't rush through that part of the process.
And we only have, I think, one more meeting, but I'm not trying to get
It
your.
won't be until January anyway.
Well, but to review the plans and stuff,
Yeah,
Yeah, if we can get
depending if we have
If we
them
get
in
'em.
that time.
We belong to Commissioners Court there.
he can call us, he can call us.
Having meetings,
Having
He
a
can call us.
meeting at
He can
any
have a
time.
meeting Once a week.
So if I may, preliminary plans were approved between Commissioner Lenny was working with the engineer, and those preliminary plans were okay. Final plans have not been completed by the engineer. When those final plans are completed, before they go out for bid, they will come back to the court. The court will have to authorize going out for bid for that construction once those plans are.
I got you.
Okay.
was that the meeting we had at the tax office for the final adjustments on the?
We didn't have plans at that time. That was a walkthrough, so they could get that together.
I thought he bought a drawing and he added a door to the back.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think,
With Mr. Mercer.
I think it was a little bit after that. I think,
Oh,
I haven't seen
is
it.
that same project including the sewer and the electrical, upgrades at the Coliseum?
It's a good question, and it does not include the sewer and electrical upgrade.
No, electrical, we're
We're
doing,
doing locally.
uh-huh.
Okay,
And no, we have not gotten any sewer from,
okay, I'll back out.
Do you have any idea what the projected, price per square foot, about 225?
Didn't bring that number with me, Commissioner. I'm happy to get that for you and send it to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
It's Ms. Leach, correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here this morning, and thank you to you and Grant Corpus for continuing to assist guiding our ARP committee and this board, through this process.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Is there anything further on this agenda item? Nothing more?
That's it, unless the committee has anything, right?
Last chance, everybody here, please, ready to go? All right, yes, we are. Okay, moving on, we have no executive session items, moving to agenda item number 18, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion, Commissioner Lenny's not here, so I guess we're just gonna be here until he shows up.
Well, he,
He authorized me to vote.
Remember? Yeah.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.